everyone. I have way too much energy for 10 p.m. I plan for it to stay at absolutely this level all the way till 1 a.m. Because that is how long we're going to be streaming for. But welcome to my charity stream. We are streaming in aid of World Wildlife Fund. For those of you that don't know who or what World Wildlife Fund is, it is the leading independent organization that works towards the conservation and protection of Earth's wildlife, working towards a world where humans and nature can hopefully thrive together. And they do some amazing work. It was really, really sweet of them to approach me and ask me to stream for them. So we're very excited. What we're going to be doing today is playing a game called Fiasco. I already streamed earlier. Some of you might have been there, maybe not. But then I played Trash Pals and had an absolutely fantastic time. This time we'll be playing Fiasco by Bully Pulpit Games. I'm not alone though, obviously. I am joined by some lovely players because it would be kind of sucky if I had to just play by myself. I don't think I can play by myself. So what I will do is I will ask my players to introduce themselves. I would like to hear pronouns, talk a little bit about kind of what you do, and yeah, we will go from there. So who shall I pick on first? Let's start with, I'm trying to see who's on the thing. Let's start with Michelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Kelly. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an actor, voice actor, TTRPG streamer as of recently, and small creature that you might find when you go to the zoo. You can find me at Michellecopter on all the social things, including the new ones that are popping up every minute.
New ones, you know, the list. Insert list here. Oh, cool. Thanks, Michelle. Next, let's go for Lou.
Hi, I'm Lou Fryer. I am a TTRPG writer and editor, and wannabe podcaster and streamer on occasion. My pronouns are she, her, and yeah, you can find me at Lou. I am Lou Fryer on all of the old ones and some of the new ones because I don't want a list really. But excited to be here to have a fiasco.
We're gonna have a fiasco, hopefully, or we might just have a chat and a cup of tea. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Last but certainly not least, let's go for Jacob.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Wolf-Lefton, pronouns he, they, and I'm an actor, and I am also doing TTRPG streaming and playing, and I'm sure many other interesting things that you can find out about on social media. At Water Mosaic is my handle on a lot of them.
You can find out which ones. But you do the research.
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah, well, we all know that like currently social media, just there's lots of people on lots of sites. So just try it. See if you can find us. We might be there, we might not. Hey everyone, I'm Kat. I am Law Mistress 93 on most social media apart from Twitch. For some reason I decided to do the Law Mistress there just to really mess up. This social media thing eludes me. I should have made that Law Mistress 93 too. But anyway, that's fine. I am a TTRPG writer. I am also a streamer. I tend to do a lot of work with Girls Run These Worlds and sort of various other channels. But as you can see, I'm branching out and starting to try and do stuff on my own channel. And I thought, why not begin with a bang and try and raise some money for charity at the same time and really stress myself out. And it's been an absolute blast so far. So very excited to continue the trend in with this game. Obviously you can see with this one I've got actually a helpful thing for the audience to look at. We're not doing theatre of the mind here, and we're going to have to keep track of things and figure out dice rolls and such. just before I start, a couple of things. First of all, Fiasco is a pretty light-hearted and silly game. So in terms of content warnings, there shouldn't really be huge amounts that we need to worry about. It's not a horror game or anything like that. It's kind of inspired by films like Fargo. So it's very much about sort of like an almost slapstick style comedy of errors. And I will just say, you know, it's the theme that we have, the play set that we're using is themed around the zoo. So while we are not planning for there to be any harm to animals as such, the zoo is not doing too great. And so in that there is an inference that perhaps animals' homes are at stake. But other than that, we're planning for a pretty light-hearted, chilled out vibe. And the other thing that I needed to mention is that we are running a giveaway within this stream to receive a copy of Trash Pals, which is the game that I played from 4 till 7. You can catch the VOD if you want to see it played. But we will, yeah, so I'm running a copy of words. I'm running a giveaway for that. So all you need to do is !wildlife to enter into the giveaway, and we will draw that at the end of the stream. Let me just give instructions for that. There we go. All right. I think we're really much ready to get started. So what I would like everyone to do first is look up your hometown and find out your town's population, because that is going to determine who gets to go first. It's the person that lives in the smallest town. So I will start. My current population for where I live is 129,000. Give everyone some time to just look it up.
Mine is 29,000 this or in 2020. But it's in the greater Boston area. Like it's just urban. It just is the division of that particular town is small. So I would be amazed if it's the smallest one here today.
Mm-hmm. All right. So can anyone beat 29,000? Michelle, what's your population?
I can. I am in a small town in Yorkshire, which I won't dox myself, but I will tell you, the population at the last census was 17,000.
Wow. I genuinely thought I had a shot with 129,000. I was so wrong.
I mean, I technically live in Greater London, which has a population of, over 5 million. But I live in a small town in a southern borough with a population of 41,453.
So I live in the I live in the biggest place, which is amazing to me. Because I live in a town in Kent, so I was like, mine's going to be quite small. I think that means that Michelle is going first. Which, considering Michelle is the only one of us to have not played this game, that is the true start of a fiasco if ever I had one. But that's fine. What I would really like everyone to do now is you all have 4d6, I hope, in front of you. I would like everyone to roll said d6, and then I will go around and get everyone's numbers, sort them into a pool, and then I will explain to Michelle what it is that she needs to do. So
get that good dice noise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
This is a higher stakes game. I have some good rolls.
Nope.
Uh,
That is not what
I
I
have-
want to do at all.
When do you want numbers?
Let's go. Can I duplicate that? Yes. Yes. Let's start with Michelle.
that makes sense. So I got 1, 2, 4, and 6.
1, 2, 4, and 6. So let's go. All right. Next up would be Jacob.
I got 2, 3, 4, 4.
2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, we've got a bit of a mix so far. That's good. So we've got a few 4s. Lou?
I have 3, 5, 6, 6.
Nice. Our first 5.
Whoop whoop. Shiny 5.
And 6. And then I got 2 4s, a 3, and a 6. So we have plenty of 4s to choose from, everyone.
And if you want an option 1, no.
Mm.
No.
No, we got 1 1.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, 1.
Precious 1.
So if you want an option 1 or an option 5, I would very much advise getting hold of that as soon as you can.
Fighting
okay.
over it.
So, all right. So did I do? Okay. So, as you can see, we now have a pool of 16 dice. So if you will bring up your Zoo playset playbook, Michelle, and essentially what you want to do is have a look through and choose whether you want to choose a relationship, a need, and it will be a need specific for your character. So it's like an aim or a goal that they might have. An object or a location. The object or the location can be kind of for anyone, really, or like just part of the story. It doesn't have to be specifically something attached to your character. But if any of those have caught your eye, feel free to choose them. What might be easier if you're not sure is to start with relationships. The reason why I have connected us together, you will see you have a connection with me and you have a connection with Jacob, is because the way that Fiasco works is we have pre-established relationships. So we have pre-established relationships with 2 of the 3 players that you are kind of sharing the table with, and that way it kind of makes the story more interesting. Of like, oh, he knows her, who knows them, who knows, do you know what I mean? It's like, so you can choose if you like to sort of get a broad category to begin with, and then as time goes on, we can kind of delve into the sort of the more detail version of it.
Sure thing. I'm drawn to the zoo hierarchy relationship, I think, which is a 2.
Okay, perfect.
I'm
who do you want to be part of the zoo hierarchy with?
I think if you're open to it, it'll be with you, Kat.
Ooh, okay, yeah, sure.
We're gonna
no worries.
mess with that. Come onto your channel and start messing with your hierarchies.
Messing with my hierarchy already. Yes, okay, so then what I will do here is I will write in this orange post-it note hierarchy, and then we will delete this. It was a 2, wasn't it? So we would delete this 2 here, and we are now down 1 dice, and we will go round basically and each get to do that 4 times until we have established a number of things that will make this world and this game more interesting. So if we're going clockwise, that means that Jacob's up next.
Yeah, I would love to, Lou, if you're up for it, I'd love to have a relationship from the past with
Oh,
you.
that's good because I was thinking we should have a relationship from the past.
Amazing. Great. So let's do it. I'll write it.
I will delete the 6.
Amazing.
Look at this teamwork. Cool. That was nice and easy and nice and quick. Lou,
Unfortunately, Jacob's just taken my turn though, so now I've actually got to think about something.
You can choose to fill in the
to add a
of that
detail.
if you
Mhm.
want
Oh yes,
to.
I can. Oh, I need to go back onto and see what dice we've got. Got lots of 3s, 4s, and 6s, or special things on the other ones. Okay, so I think I quite like the idea of either spotlighted in the same local newspaper article or last 2 reminders of the old zoo before the renovations. Do you have an opinion either way, Jacob?
I like the connection to the old zoo to keep it real zoo focused.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I just quite like that because last 2 reminders, it could be just worked out a long time, or could have been like,
Mhm.
there's something things to play with there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what we'll have. We'll have a detail.
All right, I will get rid of one of these 4s then, and last 2 remainders. So what that seems to imply is like you're the last 2 people that worked there from the
Well, it says reminders in the booklet, so it doesn't even necessarily mean that we work there. We could our pictures could be up somewhere. Like there's something that reminds people of the old zoo. I don't know.
Ooh, that's interesting to play with. That could definitely be something that you could play with. That, yeah, I didn't think about that. It is my go. I think I'm also going to pick a relationship, and I am going to pick a relationship with Lou, obviously. I was just trying to see if I could fill in the detail, but I might not do that yet. I think, what have we actually got here? 3s, lots of 3s, 4s, and 6s, haven't we? I think I will take voting members of the zoo community board. Sorry, a community.
Just do community,
yes. Yeah. I will take members of the community with Lou, and that will be a 3.
Okay.
If that's okay. Sorry, I just realised I didn't even ask.
Absolutely.
All right, it's Michelle's go.
All right, we've got a lot of 4s, which is romance. So, Jacob, if you're open to something from the romance category, bearing in mind that not all the details mean we have to be deeply in love, but there's some fun stuff there if you're happy with that.
Yes, I'm happy with that.
Amazing.
Sounds great.
Pop that in.
All right, let me delete that 4. Perfect. Jacob, your go.
Yes, I think I'm going to head over to needs. And I'm going to put a need between So I would love to put it between, I think the needs, it's great to share them with someone else if we can. So between, in the zoo hierarchy, between Kat and Michelle, if I can give you a need to get even in that category.
Ooh.
Love it.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Great. So that's the 5. The 1 5.
We've got the 1-5. All right, so let me just pop that. So you're putting it kind of between the both of us, is that correct?
Yeah, so if you two share that need, then you can conspire for it.
Love it.
Let's get rid of the 5. Cool. Lou, your go.
I was looking at locations, but I think and objects, but I think actually, because I just got really excited, I would love if it is okay with both of them. I would just love Michelle and Jacob to want to get back together, but don't want to say so.
Okay. Sure. I'm down for that.
comfortable with it if
Just
you
to
are,
have,
yeah.
just to be,
Yeah.
to be tense and awkward all the way through.
Love it.
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right. Which number was that?
That was a 4.
That was a 4. Okay, let's get rid of that 4. My go. I feel like I'm going to pick the category more animals as an object. I'm not going to attach that to anything. I'm just going to have it kind of floating. They are there to be used and pulled into the story as needed. But I think I will just pop that in. So I'm going to make yellow object. Let's just pop it up here. And then get rid of this 3.
Oh, we're around to me again. Hello. I was just having so much fun listening to you all, thinking how good this all is. Okay, how many have we got? We've still got quite a lot of dice left. Maybe we could pick a detail for one of these relationships that we've got. Sorry, looking at dice. We have everything apart from a 5. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this? Kind of feels like it's suggested by the need to get even. What if you and Meekat were passed over for promotions today?
Yes.
So good.
Yes. This makes so much sense. Okay.
So that's a 3. So I'll delete that. Go.
All the 3s are gone. We had so many at the beginning, and we've got rid of all of them. All right. Cool. Yes, let's go for Jacob then.
I'm doing calculus in my head of like what's the most interesting thing to do here, and I would propose to Kat and Lou to add a detail to your relationship with a 6, so that one of you is a zoo lover and one of you is a zoo hater. And this is interesting because one of you has just been passed over for a promotion and one of you is a reminder of the old zoo.
Oh,
that is
Be
spicy.
interesting to know which
that's
one is which.
spicy.
Yes, we'll have to figure it out.
All right. Yeah, I'm down
Love
for that. Are you down for that?
Absolutely.
Zoo lover and zoo hater.
And that could be also a general or specific. It could be I hate zoos, or it could be I hate this zoo.
Yeah, exactly. It could be either. Yeah.
Or love.
All right. Lou, your turn.
All right. Well, we got lots of stuff, reminders of old zoo, people that work together, and whatever else. So I'm going to put an object. I'm going to put an administrative object into the game.
Okay. Let's go with this color. Administrative, yes.
Yeah, which is a 2.
Okay. That's a 2. Oh, we are running out of dice.
Cool. It seems like we have to fill in the details of what's on the board, and then possibly we add one more need.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Fair
so
enough.
let me have a look at.
We don't have any specific locations on the board yet, but I
No,
don't
we
know if
don't.
that's needed.
Oh yes, we
Necessarily.
do need one location as well. So
Yeah.
I will add detail though in this instance to get even aim. I'm gonna choose a 6, and I'm gonna say in a way that the whole city will appreciate.
Love it.
Wow. Aiming high.
That's quite tiny writing there. Let me make that a bit bigger. And delete that 6. All right, Michelle, your go.
I'll do a location since we've identified that requirement. I'm trying to choose between habitats or behind the scenes. Both seem like ripe for silliness. I think I'm going to say habitats and use that one as a location.
Okay. I just realized I made that the wrong color. That's because that's an object, isn't it? This is location. Habitat. We got rid of the one already, didn't we?
Yeah.
Lovely. All right, Jacob. Got 4s and 6s left. You have so much choice. But the last choice, I did forget to say this final rule. The last choice is wild.
Yeah.
So you can choose anything you like if it's the last choice. That was quite important. I probably should have mentioned that. It could have changed the entire game. Sorry about that.
Okay, 4s and 6s. I think the administrative detail that I'm going to add is a flash drive with copies of the zoo's financial records.
Ooh.
Oh, if ever there was a way to get even. Flash drive. All right. Make these a bit bigger. And what number was that?
That was a 4.
Got it. Okay. Lou.
All right.
Have we gone wrong somewhere here? Or have I skipped someone? Or have I just not deleted something? We've got 3 dice left and there's 2. There should be 2 dice left.
It's all right. We'll get around to you, Kat, and then
just make it wild.
Make it wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's make it either a 4 or a 6 then. So.
Okay, so I've got to either specify the habitat or more animals, right? Okay, so I mean, there's some good stuff on both of those.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if any of them kind of are. No, I was about to say if there's any of them that are natural fits, but actually, I don't care. They might make it more interesting if they don't naturally fit. I think that in this zoo there is the biggest python.
Yes.
It says in the tri-state area, but that's an American term that I don't really understand. So the biggest python in the UK.
The biggest python insignificant area. Insignificant.
In continental Europe.
The whole continent.
Yeah, should we
Good.
do the entirety of Europe, the biggest python
Yeah.
in the entirety of Europe, because we're
like
all
it.
Why not?
Europe.
That's a much bigger area than the tri-state area.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. Biggest.
But it's not like completely crazy either. Like somewhere's got to have the biggest python in Europe.
Someone's got to.
I'm gonna look it up. What's the biggest?
First animal fact of the day. Who has the biggest python in Europe?
I mean, the species, says Wikipedia, the Caspian whip snake is the largest species of snake in Europe.
Ooh.
Not python though.
But it's not Yeah. So
And that would be that would, I assume, would be a native snake and not in a European zoo.
holy it's in Chester, the Chester Zoo.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Biggest
in
zoo
the
in the-
UK.
Biggest
Yeah.
biggest zoo
got
in the UK
yeah.
and #1 ranked.
Chester Zoo's python is named Bali. Python is 23 feet in length
That's
and
a great guy.
requires a team of 8 zookeepers to keep her health in check. It's a she python.
That's
So,
fantastic.
There's
there's
a
not
great
enough
program
of us
about
to
Chester
carry
Zoo.
this python. I need to just make that really clear.
I've seen them do it. There's a really good program called Secret Life of the Zoo that's all about Chester Zoo, and they had to do a health check for Bali once, and they had to call in like everyone to move her.
That's a really good show. I recommend you
great.
find it online or something. It was really good.
I mean, there's a really good one about Edinburgh Zoo. There's a really good one about there's loads of good zoo programs.
What have we got then for? I think I'm going to. So it's either. What are we missing? So it's either going to be it's going to be a detail for the habitat, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just throw another aim in there just for the vague one.
But we need to put in details for both of them. So
Right. Okay. All right. Details for the habitat. Let's go with. Now I've got one that makes sense. However,
Yeah.
I've also got some that might be a bit more funny.
The logic would say reptile house. However,
Yeah, the logic says reptile house.
I'm pro the
However-
large python being somewhere it shouldn't be.
yeah, I
You know?
definitely.
The Ocean World exhibit. Just swimming in. I feel like I'm going to put a penguin habitat in there.
Yeah.
Why
Love it.
not? And then we can get some cute little penguins involved.
What kind of penguins are they?
Emperor.
Oh.
Ooh.
Right, there's a mix.
Yeah,
I think that
you
there
get
would be
lots of
like
them
a
in
mix.
European zoos.
Like Edinburgh, like in like Edinburgh Zoo. There's just that like penguin parade.
Mm,
Yes, they're king penguins. They're the only king penguins in the UK.
they've got king penguins.
They've got quite. I thought they had a lot of different penguins.
Yeah, they do. They've also got
They have little rock
Gentlews
hoppers. I love rock
and
hopper penguins.
rock hoppers.
Edinburgh Zoo has a very nice penguin exhibit, and they have a penguin live cam. So I recommend if you want to look at some penguins.
If you just want like to chill out.
Look up the Edinburgh Zoo penguin cam.
If something
Not now. You're
technical
watching the stream now.
difficulties-
Obviously not now.
Arise in this stream, I will just get the penguin live zoo cam booted up and we can just watch until 1 a.m. and then go to bed.
That sounds great. Why are we playing this
Honestly, yeah.
game?
All right, so well, we got a little bit of time before we have before we're going to go on our first break. So maybe now is a good time to kind of just come up with like a few character details based maybe on the relationships and the things that we've kind of come up with, and I guess to sort out who is what. So obviously you have a zoo lover and a zoo hater. You have the last who remains of the old zoo, like maybe just to kind of fill in a little bit of context around some of those things, and then we will head to break, and then when we come back we will start our adventure. So did anyone have any ideas or anything that they wanted to kind of add?
What does the reminders of the old zoo mean to you, Lou?
So I had a sort of vague idea of something that could link both of the relationships I have.
Great.
Which I thought maybe reminders of the old zoo could be that possibly have been a member of the, maybe not a keeper or something, maybe like board of trustees or something like that for a very long time, and kind of back from before conservation was really at the forefront of zoos. They were more like having a day out, going to the circus kind of deal, and being ran as businesses. So maybe I don't like. So I thought maybe that could make me the zoo hater,
Mm-hmm.
because
How much
I
money
don't
have
like.
you lost on the zoo?
Yeah, exactly. We're putting all this money into doing stuff, and we're not getting anything back from it. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought maybe there's a like a wall of pictures somewhere of the board of trustees or something, and I'm the last only person on those pictures that's still on the board.
Amazing.
And that's why I would be, or and you could either be on there too, or you could be part of the old guard for a completely different reason.
I was thinking to be a janitor.
Great. Love that for you.
I love that so much. It's like, I have this really deep idea of like the revenge and the bitterness, and then you were like, I think I'm just gonna be janitor.
I love that there's like this zoo has changed so much over the last maybe 40 or 50 years, and the only two people that still work at the zoo are one of the trustees and a janitor.
Yes.
I just
Love
have this really like funny image of Lou's character just always seeking out this poor janitor and just being like, remember the old days when everything was amazing. This janitor's like,
Just use you as a talking board.
just
There's
trying to
Yeah.
make it clean, actually.
Just shovel full of giraffe shit. Like,
I literally only listen to you because it's habit for me to listen to you.
Okay, at this point.
We've both been here so long.
All right. Well, I guess actually you can probably just add that is a little post-it note, Lou, on like kind of attached to your character. So just behind your name, and just kind of write a little bit of detail about that. I guess that would make me the zoo lover then, which I think makes sense. I guess, and I don't know if Michelle had another idea for why she might be bitter about being passed over for a promotion, but I feel like my character might have given a lot, not in terms of like money, but in terms of like energy and passion, and genuinely care very much about the zoo, and have been sort of passed over for a promotion that, when the chairman of the zoo was still alive, would definitely have gone to her. So I don't know, I'd love to be like maybe a keeper or something, a zookeeper that just should have become like the senior zookeeper because knows so much about animals. That's going to backfire on me because I don't actually know huge amounts about animals, but that's fine, we'll get there. But let me just quickly Google some facts. But yeah, I think that's what my character had, just like super enthusiastic, super maybe a touch naive zoo lover, and is kind of a bit naive to how much zoos are not just run by passion and love for animals, and there's a lot of other things that fuel the running of a zoo, and is just like, but we're here for the animals, aren't we? And everyone's like,
We'll just
yeah,
give them loads more
mostly.
food and things.
Yeah. I love that. I think my guy is customer services. Like, has been on a 0 hours contract, and they always wanted to work at the zoo. They studied zoology because it has zoo in it, so that's probably the best thing to study, right? Got themselves on a 0 hours when they were at uni, and like 10 years later they're still on the front desk selling tickets, and they really thought that
Front of house. Oh
this
no.
was gonna be the year that they could step a little bit up. They're always hanging out with you. I think Kat, like, she's like wanting to spend time with a keeper because that's her real dream. But she's on the 0 hours, and I think she's just started to finally get a bit disillusioned with this nonsense.
I feel like my character was like, I've been really hyping you up. Like, I know you're so passionate. I'm going to get you in. We're going to be like a team. I'm going to be senior. You're going to be like junior. You're going to study under. And then it's just like not worked out for either of us.
Yeah, I've applied once again for like the intern, like bottom of the ladder animal handling job, and I still haven't got it. And I'm still on the front desk, and I'm like,
the shit shoveler. Like, I just applied. I just want to move too. That's all I want to do.
Literally. I just want to be doing what Jacob's character is doing, and I can't even get there.
At least Jacob's character gets to walk past the glass.
And we have a history as well, I guess, Jacob, to figure out.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
was just thinking about this.
Maybe this is why you split up.
I've been a janitor since before the renovations. So you would have joined the zoo after the renovations, and probably at some point we went out, but I don't know how long. Probably not very long.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pitch this to you. Staff Christmas party.
Okay,
Got
great.
drunk, copped off once. Never
Yeah.
really had the guts to like follow up on that. Was what I
But
was.
there was like a spark and
Yeah,
care
well,
or
always like
something.
it. But ever since
Oh,
that
do you do
happened,
the
Everyone
awkward,
else
like,
thought it was
waving
going to
at each
happen, but
other?
it didn't happen.
yeah, and she's always, oh my god, I was so drunk, that's so embarrassing. I can't even look at them. It's like, you know, and we're secretly both like, oh, I wish I could ask them out, but it's too awkward now.
Your booth is always like sparkling clean.
Oh, so cute. Yeah,
Oh my
love it.
goodness. I'm just rooting for the romance at this point. Like, I'm gonna every single time it's my turn, I'm gonna be like, I want another scene. I want another scene between Michelle and Jacob where they have another awkward romantic encounter.
Love it.
All right.
Kat,
My-
I don't know if you established. Are you what kind of keeper are you? Are you a reptile keeper or a penguin keeper perhaps, or something that's relevant to?
How about this? I maybe am the zookeeper that I thought I was a natural shoo-in, because obviously we have the biggest python in Europe, and so only the best zookeepers are kind of placed in charge of what should we call this python? Something unexpected. But only the best
Kevin.
Did you say?
Yeah.
Kevin's not bad.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin. Only the best zookeepers are placed in charge of Kevin's care. And I'm the one that has been looking after Kevin because no one else is trusted to do it. Yet someone else was picked to be senior zookeeper instead of me. So I think I'm going to be Kevin's. I think like I do a lot of different things, but Kevin is my main care, my main priority. So the reptile house, I guess, would be like my main area of concern. So I better go Google some reptile facts now. I'll be right back.
Oh, you probably like genuinely think that like you and Kevin are friends and that you've got like a real deep spiritual connection.
Oh,
and I'll tell you something. Reptiles are all real stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like I talk to Kevin, and every time I'm in there, Kevin eyes me up as the next meal.
Kevin's just looking straight at you.
Too long in there, and I'm just like, I've had a really bad day, Kevin, and I think that me and Kevin are best friends. Oh no! Oh my goodness! You know what that means? Whenever we do a scene with my character and Kevin, you are Kevin.
Michelle's second character.
Michelle's second character. We can as well, when we do the scenes, you can like say, can someone play this NPC, and you can pull NPCs in and stuff, non-player, but it will be like someone else will kind of take that role just for that moment. So absolutely, I can absolutely ask Michelle to be Kevin the Python while I'm talking. That's perfectly fine. Also, if you want to come up with a name for your character, now is a good time to do it as well.
Probably important.
Let me think.
Yeah, I named my character Cal. They are genderqueer in transition in some direction, and at this point, you can't tell or remember.
Amazing.
And they may have forgotten as well.
Is Cal using they them in that case?
Yes.
Okie doke.
It's all written. I can see it's written
Yes.
under Jacob's.
Ah, yes, very smart.
Yeah. I was watching the Twitch stream on mute so that I could see all of the videos and the board, but now all the things are getting a little bit too small for me to read in that medium.
Oh yeah, it is. All of you, get your binoculars out.
I will be a Penny, she, her, with our disillusioned, but ever hopeful front of house customer services.
Penny. I've called my character Daphne.
Oh,
Daphne and Penny.
Nice. One other thing.
I think. Sorry,
Yeah.
go.
No, you go. You're on.
No, because I was just going to think aloud. So if you actually got
Great.
a logical thought.
I have something else for us to think about, which is that we spent our dice getting 2 objects, which are great, but we only have 1 need, and so for the tension of the heist, it would be good to. We're out of dice, but it would be good to just look at the playbook again and look at the needs and find out if there's like one other need that we can sort of subtly put into the board somewhere, just so that we have 2 different types of plots that are getting driven.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Good plan.
Let's have a quick look.
Also, sorry, this is maybe a UK term, and I don't know what a 0-hour contract is. So,
it's
kind.
the worst thing. It's when you have a contract to work somewhere, but there's no minimum amount of hours, so you might go weeks without ever getting a shift.
Okay, well.
They have no obligation to actually like pull you in, but at any moment they can just call you and go, "Hey."
Yeah.
And you can be on a 0 hours contract and do exactly the same shifts on exactly the same days for years, and then all of a sudden have nothing, and the other way around, and whatever.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. That's basically what it is. Yeah.
It can be useful that I'm on a 0 hours contract at the school that I work, which basically means that I'm still on all of their systems, and I just come in to do cover work and things on my own terms. So that's
which is kind of what it's designed for. Is like
it is
cover
what it's
work.
supposed to be for. Yeah.
But a lot of people
I think
end
a
up
lot
with
of
that as their only job.
It gets abused.
It gets abused. It's used a lot for like people that are like at uni or students and stuff get 0 hour contracts, and they like it because flexibility, and it means that they'll call me and I'll just tell them if I can or can't do it. Essentially, it's kind of how they get sucked in a little bit, and then sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I've got a job," and then they don't get called for 4 weeks, or if they were like didn't pick it up on their first couple of shifts as much as the managers would have liked, they might just never get called again and stuff. So.
Lou, do you have a name? Oh yeah, it's coming.
It's coming now.
Oh, hold on. We got a surname over here.
That's because my character needed a surname.
We got a full backstory going on over here.
Well, I think his name is Hugo Ammanford. But I think most of the time he gets called Mr. Ammanford. So that's why I thought he would member of the board of trustees. So I thought that he probably needed a surname.
Love
I feel like my character just calls him Hugo, and he gets really mad about it.
Well, absolutely, there'll be people that call him Hugo, and he's just like, "You're not my friend."
All right, let's see if we can get one more like need in to kind of help drive the plot a little bit. And then maybe we can head to break.
What does
Cal
Hugo
want?
want? I mean, apart from Penny.
Yeah, if we put a need in that corner, I think it could be good. And I'm looking at because we had a lot of 4s and 6s, and so if we did a something that was in the 4 and 6 range. So either to get respect or to get control.
I feel like get respect works quite well with Hugo.
Yeah.
I mean, also get control works quite well for
Yeah.
Hugo. I think
True.
Hugo is part of the old guard. I think probably quite likes control, but also respect. Either of them could work.
Over the whole zoo at last.
Finally.
My particular favorite is in To Get Respect from D.E. Hitchcock IV, even though he's dead.
I mean, I like that. I think Cal and Hugo probably both knew D.E. Hitchcock IV.
Mm,
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that.
So what is that?
Are you trying to get respect from Hitchcock? We're gonna have to introduce a ghost into this fiasco.
I mean, I have ideas already just popping up into my head.
Ooh,
Love it.
love that. Do you have a preference, Lou, to get control or to get respect?
I mean, I don't want to. I'm happy with either of those because I think they both go with what. So Jacob, what you've already got ideas? Did you have?
Let's go with To Get Respect from D.E. Hitchcock IV, even though he's dead, because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I definitely am going to think of a first name for him because I definitely
called
him his first name
Yeah.
we were mates, even if we weren't. But I
Hey,
think
you were constantly
really were.
inviting him to golf, and he was always busy
Yeah.
mysteriously that day.
Yeah.
How did he die?
Ooh.
That's a really interesting question that might come up during our fiasco.
Most foul. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't say in the score whether it was unexpected or.
Oh my goodness, maybe he's not dead. Maybe because of the flash drive with the financial records, maybe he faked his death because he was massively in debt.
We'll see.
But he also
see if we can play
had
it
the
out.
zoo. It says in the score that he has welcomed people to the zoo just like his father did before. So there's a chance actually that I actually was mates with his dad.
It's true.
And maybe I thought actually he was a bit of a young upstart making all these renovations.
Let's
Love
put
that.
it between the two of us so that each of us have, if that's all right, so that both of us need this.
Let me open this up a little bit more because then that's a bit bigger. All right, shall we head to break? Have a little 10 minutes. And then when we come back, we will begin to create our scenes. We will take it in turns, and we will play out this fiasco and see how we get on. Thank you everyone who's joined us so far. Obviously, we have the donation link. You can sort of scan the QR code that's on our overlay at the moment, or you can donate to the link that is currently sitting in chat. We are sitting at £116.38 as our current running total, so we're doing really, really well. And we'll see how we get on after the break. So see you all in about 10 minutes. Bye. Hey everyone, we are back. We had a short break, but we have arrived back to continue playing our wonderful game of Fiasco. I think that if we could just move the overlay ever so slightly so that we can see the little counters on the side. Oh no, actually, I suppose we'll just be dragging them across, right? So that should be fine. All right. So where we left off, we have kind of established our world. We've established our characters and some objects and locations and aims, and we've basically kind of essentially created a massive zoo conspiracy that we now need to kind of let play out. Once again, in the spirit of Fiasco, the person that has never played the game before, she's going first. So Michelle, you get to now decide whether you want to establish a scene or resolve a scene. If you choose to establish, then we will decide the outcome for your character in that scene. If you choose to resolve it, then we decide kind of like what the scene looks like, and we can kind of discuss that. It can be a collaborative thing, but the other thing is that it doesn't have to be, you can choose to pull as many people as you want into the scene if you choose to establish, or us if we choose to establish. So you could be like, oh, I just want it to be me by myself and I'm having this monologue where I talk to myself about my evil intent or whatever, or you can pull all of us into the scene and it can be everyone is doing something, or just one other is. It's absolutely up to you.
Sure. I think I'm going to put it to the room to establish this first scene. I am shirking responsibility.
That sounds like a me move. What do you all want to do? I'll just go with it.
Think?
I feel like Jacob has an idea.
I have an idea. I would love to see a scene between Penny and Daphne, as right after they have received the news that they've been passed over for promotions.
Ooh.
I don't know where it is. Maybe it's in the break room or somewhere else on the zoo, but this is where we find out maybe something about their need.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm down for that, if you're down for that.
Yeah, let's meet in the break room.
Yes.
I think that I'm gonna come in, kind of clutching my phone. I've just read the emails. Daphne?
Oh my goodness. Daphne is I feel like Daphne is in the break room, tears streaming down her face. She has just obviously received the email that tells her that she is not going to be senior zookeeper, and she was kind of not expecting that. So she's kind of like looking at her phone, just like, I just don't understand.
Oh, Daphne! I was so ready to just put it to one side and be happy for you. Don't tell me they didn't hire you either.
They didn't hire me. I'm supposed to. I look after Kevin.
I know. And I was gonna pick up his skin once it was shed, and you were gonna show me how to do it. And it was gonna be really good.
I was gonna show you how to shovel penguin poo. I was gonna show. I had so much to teach you, Penny, and I don't understand. Sheila, really? Sheila of all people?
And it's just, I keep saying this, but it's just really, really boring. Like, Sheila, we get it. She works in the Australia section. Ugh.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I mean, it's just such a stereotype.
It's a stereotype. Like, try harder.
I don't care if she knows how many kangaroos it takes. I don't care. I don't care.
And I also, how did she find that out, huh? How many light bulbs did those kangaroos go through?
And I think that at this point, she kind of like has this look. She goes, "Well, I hate to say it, but I think I need to do something about this. I mean, this is a complete injustice. I can't just let this slide."
You know, listen. Okay, you didn't hear this from me, but those of us on the ticket booths, numbers have been going down, Daphne. Numbers have been going down, and I think it's due to the mismanagement. If you were in charge, people would be coming because you'd be showcasing Kevin. He's a very good person.
Conservation is the key.
Yeah,
that's
he's
how
very
we
big.
get the people in. I know this. This is why I should be the head zookeeper.
This is why. And if you know, I'm good at selling tickets, but I do think that probably the university students would be fine. I've been here quite a while. I think I'm ready.
I know you're ready. I know you're ready.
Things are going downhill. If we could get these roles, things would be better.
Oh, what are we supposed to do?
Well, I don't know. I just think.
Wait. I have it of good authority that things have been going downhill in the Australia section. Maybe if we can find something, maybe if we can find some evidence that tickets are going down.
Well, I definitely know that exists because the zoo is so held together with paper clips. They haven't even digitized anything. There's literally a book. We have to write it in a book, Daphne.
Oh,
And
well,
if we
that's
can get-
Hugo's doing that.
Oh yeah, he loves fountain pens. And I always have ink on my fingers at the end of the day, and it's not a good. Anyway,
I mean, I respect a person that loves the written word, but really, files upon files upon files. What if we have a fire? God forbid we have a fire.
Well, I mean, I don't think we should start a fire. But we
Not
could.
what I'm suggesting. Whoa.
No, gosh, that would be a bit much. But if we could get hold of that book, the ticket sales book, if we had proof that everything's going downhill with this management, maybe the board, maybe Hugo, would be interested to know that information.
Maybe.
I
think that we can kind of end the scene there. So I guess, do we think that went poorly or well for Penny?
I think I'm gonna say this is good for Penny. I think this is her actually being active for the first time in her life and trying to do something rather than waiting to get a promotion. So I'm gonna give myself a little ostrich here, a little pale ostrich.
Okay, so you have to choose a character. You have to choose someone else to hand that die to.
Let's give it to Hugo, who's being just because we decided to drag his name into this.
All right. So we'll move on then to the next.
Also,
scene.
Hugo's an old white man, so everything's going to go well for him.
That's so true.
Giving him good dice, doesn't even have to work for him.
Obviously, you start with the benefits off the bat if you play the white man. Yep.
All right. Yes, let's move on to Jacob then. Jacob, are you establishing a scene or are you resolving it?
I'm gonna establish a scene, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna pitch. This is gonna be between Cal and Mr. Ammanford, and it's going to be. I imagine that it's kind of like autumn, and the leaves are coming down, and the sky is graying, and Cal is out there in like rubber overalls that go up to here for wading into the various things to clean, raking the safety orange shirt underneath it for high visibility, like a high vis shirt. And I don't know, it's for Lou to decide, but I have a vision of Mr. Ammanford in like a long coat, and they're standing next to an brand new monument to D.E. Hitchcock IV with like a bronze bust of the guy and like a plaque to D.E. Hitchcock IV, son of D.E. Hitchcock III, founder of the zoo, benefactor, yada yada yada, all of these things. And Cal is there raking. Their hair is up, and their makeup is a bit light today because it's a wet day, wet work day. And they see Mr. Ammanford approaching this monument and nod to them. Oh, Mr. Ammanford, pleasure to see you here today. Paying your respects, I see.
Well, yes, well, it was Dickie that interviewed me for my original position back in the day, so it's only right I'd tip my hat to him on my stroll around the grounds. At least once a week, I try to make it a little good for the Constitution.
Yes, well, it's important to be seen. Mr. Hitchcock also interviewed me for my position here many years ago. Um, I mean, Mr. Hitchcock the third, not the fourth.
Yes. I knew what you mean, old boy. Person. Sorry, I'm still trying to get all these things correct. You know.
No, it's no problem. Whatever you wish. It's not worth the. Anyway,
Right.
I do miss the old Hitchcock the third, to be honest.
He
You
had
and
an
me were
idea.
the last ones who knew him around here.
I believe so. Yes, he had a very clear vision. Is definitely a man of vision. Had wanted this place to be a pillar for the community, be somewhere that people could come and gather and spend their week's wages and get a cup of tea and go and see a tiger. It was it. And now it seems to be there's a lot of frippery, I would say. That's
Uh,
I'm not sure it's exactly what he would have wanted.
well, personally, I wouldn't know up from down for vision. It's not my job around here, but I do know that things have gotten much harder here at the zoo since they fired all the other janitors.
Are you doing everything by yourself now?
Well, it was. I had a conversation with the younger Mr. Hitchcock himself weeks before he passed, where he said, "I believe in you, and I believe you can handle it."
I'm sure he knew what he was doing.
I
Cutbacks, trying to increase margins, that kind of thing.
I don't
You do
know.
such a marvelous job.
Mr. Ammanford, I appreciate that, but I don't know, to be honest, if he knew what he was doing. I think, to be honest, and if I say so myself, he didn't really respect the people around him. And
Well, he was. Yeah, I mean, he'll you could go for a beer with him. He might not write you a Christmas card, but he was.
well,
Yeah.
I have to say I was never invited to a beer with him. But it's water under the bridge at this point. I to be honest, he said some things. He didn't think that I was listening or heard, but he would talk about all the other board members and the trouble that they were causing him. And to be honest, Mr. Ammanford, I don't think he thought very kindly of you.
Well, perhaps as you're feeling rather loose-lipped this morning, as maybe I'll sit a while on this bench here by the ornamental garden pond, and maybe you could enlighten me a little more.
Well, I believe the
We
words
could
that
end we could end the scene.
yeah, let's end it.
Let's end that scene.
Hey.
Is it a good outcome or a bad outcome for me?
I
think
feel
it's
like you came into
bad.
that with a little bit of an agenda, and you've managed to catch the attention. So I feel like it would be a good outcome for your character, to be honest.
Yeah, I felt like you've got a lot of power there.
Amazing.
All right, have a good one.
So
I'm
let's
gonna.
go for a good.
I'm
Are
gonna-
we all agreed on that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that to you then, Jacob.
Great. I'm gonna take that and pass it to Michelle.
Hey.
All right.
You mean your love interest? All right. Amazing. So let's head now to Lou. So your scene centering on your character. Would you like to come up with it, or would you like us to come up with it and you resolve it?
I think that I think that I'll establish it. I think that um I think that one of you two, I'm happy for your input on which was either Daphne or Penny has asked for a meeting for when you are unsuccessful in a job interview and you can kind of ask for feedback from whatever else, that maybe one of you has requested a meeting to find out for feedback on why you didn't get the job, and that could kind of put a bit of fuel on your fire.
I'm happy for that to be either of us, to be honest.
I feel like that's a Daphne move, actually.
Well, I do kind of feel like it
because
could
it's
be a
just
bit
like,
of a
oh, me and
Daphne move,
Hugo,
to
we
be
go way
honest.
back. He'll know what to do.
I feel like the moment that before she started crying, the moment she got that email, she did email Hugo. I'd like some personal feedback. All right, yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Alright.
So you're sort of sitting, I guess, probably in like your office if you're kind of one of the head honchos around here.
Yeah, it's probably because obviously a member of a board of trustees it's not like a full-time gig, so it's probably quite a sort of a relatively stately office that's shared by board members, and it's got a kind of staff room and a meeting room and a couple of offices.
Mm-hmm. So Daphne would probably kind of like rock up if the time was given, probably at least 10 minutes early, and just sort of knock quite firmly. Mr. Ammonford?
Daphne, you I thought you were coming at noon. I was just making a coffee for your. I mean, can I get you one?
Oh, well, I'm happy to wait. And no, I don't drink coffee.
No, it's fine. Come on in. Just wait for a second. I just need to add the creamer.
Just sits and just waits.
and he makes it painstakingly slowly.
Yes.
Like he's like can't remember where anything is. Looks at least finds a spoon on this like third try of a drawer, despite the fact that he's been here like 40 years.
I feel like she sort of sits there. She's waiting for the moment that she's given permission to speak, but her leg is like jogging up and down because she's just so like needs to say something. So she would definitely just be waiting for you to say that you're ready.
I mean, and Hugo kind of sits down and picks up his coffee and is like, okay, well, say your piece.
I'm here for interview feedback.
For the head of department.
Exactly.
Role. Right. Well, you see, the board thought in general that we needed to kind of spice things up a little. Sheila's got that exotic accent, and the public think that she's very exciting. Bit of young blood, an attractive lady. So the board thought that having somebody in a position of power that was likable and that has a lot of animals that we did discuss you briefly, and thought potentially that there could be done more with your lizard.
Are you referring to Kevin the python?
Yeah, snake, that's it. Yes. Well, wondered if there was maybe something that we could do to I don't know, would he be able to go in the animal adventures show? People could see how long he is. Could we get 20 children lined up holding him? Something to really put a smile and get the people through the front door.
I feel like as Hugo's speaking, Daphne's eyes are just getting wider and wider and wider. And all of these like she came for interview feedback and she just came here thinking that she was gonna be the one taking charge of this conversation. She's just been like insulted in so many different ways. She kind of just goes, right. Well, first of all, Mr. Amford, do you not think I'm an attractive woman?
It's not that you're of course you're like, you know, that there's plenty would not
don't
say
think
no.
I'm
Of course,
exciting or spicy enough.
it's just that, you know,
I wasn't
the
aware
foreign
that those were things
element.
that you look for in zookeepers. I wasn't interviewed about those things when I first arrived here, so.
Well, you know, she's got lots of, also, you know, obviously her experience. You know, she's got plenty of experience. Well, of course, you know, it's not like that with the only.
She's not that exciting. And Kevin
I
could
would
not be handled by children. I thought that we were a zoo and we were here to look after the animals. Is that not what a zoo is all about?
Well, my dear, if the people do not come through the gates, then we have not got the pennies in the penny pot to put food in the animals' bellies. You must agree
I
that
have
we
been wanting
have to make
to work
profit.
at this zoo since I was 5 years old. I would come here every day, and Hitchcock, the previous Hitchcock, he respected that. I spoke to him once, you know, and he told me that the animals are the most important part of the zoo.
Of course he did. Why, yeah, of course he did. It doesn't do a man in his position to do any good to say anything otherwise. And, you know, don't get emotional, dear. You know, it's no need to be in a situation where you're going to make people start to feel uncomfortable. You know, you're a professional. I'm sure you want to be viewed as a professional, and you should probably act as a professional. I'm sorry
Right.
that you got passed over at this point, but you know, plenty of opportunities in the future.
I've passed a dark dye to Cat. I think this scene
I
ends
feel like it's going very
poorly.
poorly. It is Hugo's. I think it's like whether it's going well or poorly for Hugo, though, isn't it? For
Was
this
it?
scene, yeah.
Was it Hugo's scene? Oh,
I
okay.
agree with you. It's
Oh, yeah, it was
very
my
Sorry,
poorly
sorry.
for
I
me.
missed whose scene it was.
I
I'm
think
so sorry.
I think that at that point Daphne kind of, you know, she kind of like she's I've never been so insulted, and she kind of stands and she marches out of the door, and I think we can kind of end the scene there. But as she kind of like, I think as she lingers in the door and she just goes, "You'll regret this decision, you know," and then just walks out.
So I think it's a negative outcome.
Yeah, I think it's negative for Hugo too. I think Hugo's having a very annoying day so far. People keep coming up to him and talking to him about stuff that he doesn't care about and insulting him.
Just let me sit in my fancy office and have a coffee and not care about any of this shit.
Yeah.
Well, Lou, you get to choose to pass that die to someone.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to end up the same outcome because I'm going to pass it on to Kat anyway.
I thought you were going to say that. Do you know what? That's fair enough, because that was a horrendous scene there for Paul.
Yeah, you were looking all
Daphne.
lonely there without any dice. So, you know, it's a gift.
Maybe Daphne will set fire to the zoo after all. All right. So it's my turn. I think that I would like to establish a scene in which I am in the python. I'm in with the python, and I'm kind of taking good care and you know, making a really yes.
It's time to shine, Michelle.
Yes, Michelle, your time has come. I need a python to kind of listen. And I think that Daphne is taking a moment to just really like reflect on her position in the zoo and what she's gonna kind of do about it. So I think she's sort of sitting there, and she's kind of sort of making up the food for this poor python. She says, "Well, it's just absolutely ridiculous, Kevin. I mean, I come here every day and I look after you. You know that, don't you?" And sort of mashing up food.
Kevin kind of hisses ambivalently.
Quite right. At least you understand. And Penny too. No one else in this place understands. The animals are the most important thing.
Kevin's slithering up to the top of his tank and doing that thing he does where he bonks against it as though trying to open it.
This is my favorite thing. Oh no, Kevin, darling, come down from there. You'll hurt yourself. And she kind of begins to kind of like sort of put the food out in various areas of the enclosure. And she said, "He was just absolutely so rude." And then I think she kind of pulls her phone out and checks it, and she receives an email that perhaps she wasn't supposed to receive, maybe from someone who did assume that she was going to be senior zookeeper and has already added her in the group and forgot to delete her. And it's a small copy of one page of the financial like takings, and she kind of looks and she kind of just, "Oh bloody hell, Penny, I need to find Penny immediately." And she stands up and she darts out of the enclosure, and she does not close the door. She does not close the enclosure up, and she kind of just leaves it open as she kind of runs to go and find Penny. How does our python friend react?
I think the camera will linger just long enough to see Kevin start to do that bonking thing again with a little bit more success.
Yes. All right, and I guess I will just end the scene there.
I had a little like after scene where Daphne passes Cal, who's pushing a mop bucket, past the entrance of that room, and Cal just says, "I find that the rhinoceros is a great listener also."
She kind of pauses briefly and she kind of just has a quick smile and goes, yes, but no one listens quite as well as Kevin, and then continues. And I don't think she even acknowledges the fact that means that you were absolutely listening. She just kind of like continues on.
I would say that this is ultimately it's like a mixed outcome in the end of your scene. So I'm stuck on this actually. I thought it was going to be negative, but you got a hint of something to do, but also the snake is going to get out.
Yeah, which is more important in this moment, Kevin's safety or the email?
Kevin's safety.
I can tell you which would be more important to Daphne is probably Kevin's safety, to be fair.
I think it's a bad one then.
Yeah. All right, I will bring that over. Who am I going to award this to? I think I'm going to award it to Michelle for being such an excellent scene partner and starring so well as Kevin the Python.
Listen, check out my spotlight. Puppeteering is on there. You know, clearly.
Incredible.
Is it a Penny scene next, actually?
It is, in fact, a Penny scene next.
Amazing. Okay, I have an idea this time, so I'd like to establish. So I think we're going to find Penny. She's never far from her phone, so I think that Daphne has forwarded that email on. And so we find her kind of looking at her phone, and she's hovering near the door to the admin office, which she's never been allowed into because you have to be permanent staff to get a key to the admin office. And she's going, "I knew they had digital records. I knew it. Why have we been using fountain pens?" And I think she's going to be hovering until she sees Cal sort of strolling past with their bucket.
Oh,
Cal, hi. You look.
Penny,
Those
hi.
rubber trousers really accentuate your waterproofness
Oh,
really well.
yep. Yes. You are. Hi.
Yeah, hi. Yeah. So you know how you're like the janitor.
Uh-huh.
You know how you're like the janitor.
Like, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
good. Uh-huh.
Do you
Yeah.
ever clean this room? Do you ever
Some. Yeah.
do you have like keys? Do you have like keys? Keys for cleaning?
This huge, like every key of the zoo.
Oh wow, you have so many keys.
Just many of them. Yes.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Like in a professional capacity.
Missing a couple, but
Oh,
one.
that's okay. I don't think Kevin eats metal.
Kevin.
Yeah, he's like a big snake. Have you seen him? He's really big. Daphne loves him.
Oh, yes. The good listener.
Is he? I didn't know he had ears.
Many of the animals are good listeners.
Oh,
I don't know, Snake. They listen and they don't interject. Just going through the keys, like finding the key. What is it that you are looking for?
well, I think I left because obviously I'm allowed in there. I think I probably left like a personal effect.
Sure. Opens the door. I'll warn you though. I cleared out a lot of the desk junk a couple of weeks ago, and I brought them down as toys for the penguins.
That is so thoughtful of you. That's really. You didn't happen to give them any paperwork.
Papers?
Penguins like
No.
paperwork? No.
No.
Great.
Empty stapler, snow globe of the zoo. They loved that.
That's because that was really You're
Little
really smart. I mean,
bits
like in
and
a professional
bobs.
capacity.
Little bits and bobs.
Oh,
Little
okay,
bits
yeah.
and bobs.
I was hoping. I'm thinking the personal effect I left was probably some kind of like a floppy disk or
Oh.
what do they have now? CD
Oh.
or with paperwork, it's sort of financial ticket sale kind of
Oh.
records.
Oh. Yeah, there was one of those. It said something like 2019 on it, so I thought that's probably junk.
Right. Well, I mean, I think this is a different year now, isn't it? So maybe there'll still be the right one in here.
Well,
I mean,
I
not
don't.
to. I mean, I'm sure
I'm
you're
uh,
probably right that that's junk.
I'm terribly sorry. All this talk of time. I'm really sorry. I have a schedule to keep. I have to run and the zebras.
Oh, of
There's
course.
probably a lot to clean by now.
Yeah, it was been fun to. I mean, I wouldn't want to take up your
No,
very important
hey,
time.
me and just real quick, me and the other janitors were gonna go down the pub at the end of the day. Do you wanna? No, I don't know.
Oh, like a group outing. Yeah, a group
Yeah.
outing sounds very professional capacity. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that would be okay.
Yeah, we do every Friday.
Oh, I've been here 10 years and never. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I never got an invite
Well,
until now.
it's
That's
just
fine.
at
I suppose
Wallace's.
I'm not a janitor, I suppose. So
No, it was. I mean, anyone is invited, of course, but just
but
Wallace's.
not me until. That's fine. No,
Well,
that's totally that's great. It's great to see. Have fun with the zebras. Yeah, maybe see you at the pub later. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to know from all of you whether the outcome is I find a useful flash drive after this horrible conversation, or whether the 2019 was the most recent one.
That's the line of the game so far. It's a different year though, isn't it? So...
I mean, I do need to highlight that Lou and I were collectively losing our shit when you said me and the other janitors, because I was like,
So
wait
good.
a minute,
Flick.
this doesn't match up.
They established they're the only janitor.
We were just like, so we are the fandom, Lou and I.
We're
Absolutely.
shipping this.
We are shipping this.
Well, I think Cal goes down to the pub at the end of the week regardless, not even aware that really all the other janitors have been fired. They just stopped coming for a while.
Sweet though. Well, I don't know. Whether it was a good thing for Penny or not. I feel like it was bad. Because you did not find any kind of records that you wanted at this point, and you found out that maybe the penguins are using them as a toy.
Yeah.
And I also feel like you found out that people have been going on group outings without you as well. So I just think like all of that scene was just like, it was an awkward interaction, and it just became sad.
Yep. Aim of the game. Okay, so I think I agree. I didn't find anything. Let's have a dark color one, and I will give it to Cal for cruelly increasing the sting of rejection by telling me that there's been a decade-long pub arrangement that I've never been invited to before by mistake.
All right. Let us move on then. Jacob, it is your go.
Okay, I'm going to I would ask if someone would set a scene for Cal, because I feel like I just used my creative juices on the previous scene.
Let's see.
You could have what I was planning on establishing on mine, and then someone could help me with my one. Because I think that I think I need to know what Dickie said about me.
Mhm.
So I think we might need to have a part 2 where maybe it met up later, or we could already have had that conversation, and this is the next part of your
I've got it.
of your plan.
I've got it.
Okay.
At the end of that conversation, Cal let slip that D.E. Hitchcock IV was buried actually in the zoo under that monument. And it is, or at the foot of it or something, like it's not just a memorial, it's got like a sarcophagus in it, and was buried with personal records from the zoo, like personal journals and diaries and stuff. So it is
Time capsule.
the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. on Sunday night, the day before the zoo is going to open again, and we're there to essentially dig up the grave.
Who is? We are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm doing the digging.
Yes.
All right.
Like,
okay.
Crowbar. So I'm establishing this, I guess, based on your thing.
We can make it kind of collaborative, but I think that's.
But in terms of other people can decide if it goes well or not. Crowbar in the flagstones and like peeling up the flagstone and shifting it aside. Right. Okay. So, Mr. Hitchcock, I helped put the body in here. I mean, I didn't see the body; it was in a case, whatever you call it. But I know.
Oh yes, it was a lovely do.
I know that
nice box for him.
Yes, they put stuff in there. I don't know what kind of things, but I guess in the days gone past, they buried people with their riches. And what was Mr. Hitchcock known for?
He was, the insufferable lizard lady was talking about how much he loved the animals, but but I'm absolutely sure that he had some sort of grand plan. I mean, he was all for these renovations. I'm sure he had plans on how we could make the zoo more profitable, but none of it seems to be going into fruition. Maybe we'll find something. Maybe there was something that the new management didn't want to see put into effect.
So eventually Cal gets the box cleared, brushes the dirt off of it, and it has like this D.E. Hitchcock, I guess, was quite full of himself, and the box has like a relief of their face on it or something like
For
that.
sure, yeah.
um,
And Hugo
pops
is
it.
like trying to is like feeling quite sick, but like very much trying to stiff up a lip. Like, yep, this is totally normal and fine.
Yeah, so this, of course, not my first time having to reopen a grave. No, joke,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
joke.
Okay, yes. Yeah, that's a lark. You got me.
Opens it up, and there's the body, like, I guess dressed quite formally because people bury bodies all dressed up. There's like a binder that says financial records on it, like 2019 to 2022 or something like this. Well, pulls it out. There's another book in here. It seems like a I don't know. It's a black leather bound, maybe some personal writings.
Well, if it's personal, give it. Or he wouldn't want just anybody to,
Oh, of
hand
course.
it over.
You were good friends.
Yeah,
And
very, very close.
puts the book up, and like climbs out. Oh, okay. Well, that's what was in there. Also, some, I don't know what this is, and reaches down and pulls out. It's like a long, it's an elephant tusk, like truly
Like a big old
illegal.
hunk of ivory.
Exactly. Also, this some piece of bone or something. I don't know. Some precious, sentimental keepsake.
That'll be a chew toy for the hyenas later, but best hand it over. I'll make sure that gets to someone.
Okay. Yes, that sounds responsible.
Yeah. No problem. Let's have a look. Let's have a little shufty inside here. And Hugo's looks over there and has a little flick, and you can see his kind of brow furrowing, and as it sort of gets towards the end, he says, "Oh, the cad. Yeah. Did you ever, these conversations that you had overheard Dickie having? Had he ever mentioned that he was planning on selling up?"
Selling? No, before a couple of weeks before he passed, he asked me to, the last conversation I had with him, he just asked me to clean off the desk, and like, I don't know, give everything that was on the desk as toys to the penguins because they would love it in the admin house.
Can I throw something in here? That you hear a clap of thunder and the heavens open. It starts clapping down with rain and you're holding important papers.
Okay, and Hugo snaps open closes the cover and goes, "Oh God, blasted British weather! Better get out of the rain. Or come on, let's go."
Well,
And,
I've got to fill in this hole before the zoo opens in the morning.
quite right. Yeah, of course, civic duty and all that. I'm going to the office. I'll see you later.
Yes, Mr.
I'll take these things for safekeeping.
Of course, of
Oh my
course.
goodness! All right, and scene. And scene. Cool. Did that go? I mean, I feel like that just went. We got one more poorly dice, but I feel like that kind of went poorly for Jacob because all he did was just dig at like 3 a.m. and then just get left to dig back again, and he didn't really know why he was doing it.
Yeah.
Just trying to please, just aiming to please.
Just aim.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
I
just
think, yeah,
such a
Cal.
stolid little worker.
Yeah,
Little
I
drone.
enjoy Cal so much that I am forced to torture them by just making it also cold and wet as they fill the hole back in. So
Amazing.
I feel like you get to allocate that last dark one.
Okay, I am going to take that one and pass it to Michelle for
Okay,
Penny because Penny is on the tracks of those financial records also, and it's getting muddy
Yeah, and she is
metaphorically.
she is currently aiming
Also
at
getting
penguins,
muddy
which
for,
seemingly is
for
not
Cal
correct.
right now.
Well, it's partially correct, I think.
Great.
All right, let's head over to Lou then. Lou, what are you establishing or are you resolving?
So I think I'm going to establish,
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm going to go and talk to front of house,
Ooh.
which is going to be a bit of luck for Penny, possibly. I'm going to come and inquire about records, to see basically if I can make things matched up to what I've got. But obviously, unbeknownst to Penny, I've got actually what she's looking for. But I'm looking to see. Maybe I'm looking for. I think I'm probably gonna. Well, we'll play out the scene.
Sure. Penny's sat there. She's wearing giraffe dealy boppers, which are incredibly embarrassing that she
Great.
has to wear because they're in the gift shop. Morning, Mr. Ammerford. You don't need to show your pass to me. I know it's you. You can go straight in.
Oh, thank you. And he kind of stares at her chest for a little bit, and Penny, and yeah, thank you. The you of course you've been here a while, right? You're relatively on top of all the admin malarkey.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm on top, no. Given the results of the interview last week, but I certainly am very, very qualified to be on top. I would have thought. Perhaps
Oh,
everyone agrees.
of course, yes. I'm sure. And somebody as capable and qualified as you will have, I'm sure, got records of things like outgoing phone calls, receipts, petty cash, all that kind of things. I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Obviously, we've got the fountain pen system. Always stick to it, as you know. It's got a lot of
Yes,
thinking.
well, of course. Yeah, well, of course, nobody can hack pen and paper, can they? Can't start to pry it out of our hands if they want to get those things.
Right out of your cold
Uh,
dead fingers, yes.
yeah. Oh, why would you say? Never mind. So what I would like from you, you capable young lady, is a list of outgoing phone calls from Mr. Hitchcock's private line. We're just following up just an old line of inquiry, just board stuff, and just his petty cash since about 2019 or so. Along Yeah, that should probably do it. Oh, and also his meeting logs. Meeting logs would be good. Yeah.
Right. Well, Mr. Ammanford, surely the board has access to those things.
It's different sections. There's keeper passwords, there's trustee passwords, and there's admin your admin team. So all of the thing, it'll be easier for you to access.
I mostly just hand out park maps, but I could with this. Let me put it this way. Do you think that if I were to do this for you, perhaps the next time a promotion opens up, you might perhaps think to yourself, "Well, she certainly helped me."
I mean, I would see it as a personal favor, and he takes on. He goes to his lanyard and takes off a shiny key.
Well, let me keep that safe for you while you're in the park today, Mr. Ammanford. I've heard rumors about Kevin eating metal things.
Well, we wouldn't want that, would we? That darn lizard. Here you go, and perhaps if I can make you a cup of something, if when you come by my office at the end of the day.
Oh, yes, to discuss the interview feedback. Yes, Daphne advised me it's always good to ask for feedback. Yes.
Yeah, yes, of course. And
Wink.
just yes. On that note, just be if you want to make some progress in this place, just think about who you want to have by your side and having your back, as it were. I'll see you later.
See you later. Enjoy your visit, Mr. Ammanford.
Quite. Thank you, Penny.
End scene. We only have good dice, and I do feel like that kind of went well for Hugo. In that there was a sort of mutual exchanging of good things. So, Hugo, who do you want to give this good dice out to?
I think it would be. I'm trying to find I keep losing the tab. I think I'll give it to. I'm going to give it to Penny. I know that Michelle's racking up dice, but I feel like that she's just got an admin key, which is exactly what she's been wanting this whole time. So I think if I'm gonna get a good dice, that's going in Penny's direction.
Guess so. Penny's having a great big busy day.
Penny's having a whale of a time.
Penny's having a mixed day.
Having a massive day out. Whether or not it's a good one remains to be seen.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that just leaves me with my last scene. I'm going to open it to the floor because I guess even though I don't get to really decide the resolution, because it will be kind of like it would be a good resolution. But if anyone has any ideas for a scene, I would love to hear them.
Jacob is so ready.
I just want to see Sheila from the Australia section.
I was thinking Sheila, you know. I wonder if I could role play with someone playing Sheila, and maybe there could be the fact that the door to Kevin's enclosure was open. Maybe somehow that's become Sheila's fault because Sheila is now head zookeeper. And Daphne could absolutely be kind of reveling in the fact that Sheila is massively in trouble.
All right, so who wants to attempt an Australian accent?
I don't have one, but I can make a disaster of it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. We could all do that. I'd like to. I'd be more than happy to see.
Accent. We can pretend that there's an Australian.
No. Jacob said they can make a disaster of it.
Okay,
and we're going to keep them to their word.
Did you even do an Australian accent? Okay.
All right. So I feel like then I guess that the start of the scene, I kind of just maybe envisage that Daphne kind of comes in for work in the morning, and overhears a very prominent member of staff berating Sheila for the fact that the enclosure door was left open.
You bloody better sort it out, Sheila, because doors are opening in 2 hours, and if that bloody snake isn't found, then it'll be your head.
Right, I promise I will find the snake. That's not an Australian accent.
What's going on? What is this?
That python
What
is
about
gone.
Kevin?
Kevin. It's always been such a stupid name for a python. Anyway, he's gone. Just out. He broke out somehow.
Kevin's gone where?
Missing.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I wasn't. It's not even my
Oh,
responsibility.
that's just like you, Sheila, isn't it? Shirking responsibility.
Look, just because Kevin is an Australian python doesn't mean that I am responsible for it. I got promoted out of the Australia section to...
Sheila, you're head bloody zookeeper. You're responsible for everything that happens in this zoo now.
But you are one of my deputies.
Oh, I'm a deputy now, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, the other day you told me I was barely a junior, so which is it, Sheila?
Junior deputy.
Oh, junior deputy. Yeah,
Junior,
you'd like that, wouldn't
junior
you?
deputy. Look, I haven't had my coffee this morning.
How long has the snake been missing?
I don't know. I came in this morning and I got yelled at by the big boss.
Oh, poor Sheila. Well, here's the thing. Kevin and I happen to have a very close personal bond. So I will find Kevin. And when I do, I will be telling all of the board members that it was I who saved the zoo and its most popular attraction. And perhaps I shouldn't have been passed up for a promotion into someone who can't even keep the doors closed.
Well, excuse me. I am in a management role now. And listen, anyway, we have to find that python because it's an important asset. And
Yes, I know.
The merger will... it's one of the reasons for
the merger. What merger?
Oh, we didn't. My family owns a zoo in Australia, and they're talking on good terms with them.
I see. It's about the animals, Sheila.
Of course, it's about the animals, Daphne.
What kind of zoo do you have?
A zoo with animals, but a better zoo, the one that keeps the lights on and the doors open and all the janitors hired.
I think she kind of she takes a moment. She's stockpiles the information, and then she kind of says, "Fine, let's find Kevin. And then we'll talk about this further."
Forget I said anything.
Oh, I've completely wiped it from my mind, Sheila. With the face of someone who absolutely will not forget what has just been said. And then she kind of explains to me, "You laughed at the reptile keepers, you know," and just kind of storms off to try to go and find Kevin.
Daphne turned into kind of a bitch.
Love that for her. Love that journey.
You've no idea how awful it's been working with Sheila all these years. It's so satisfying.
Later that day is just like zookeeper graffiti goes up. It's printed out clearly from the printer in the staff room, and it's just like in Comic Sans. It just says animals without legs are dumb. And it's just taped.
You just know that Daphne just rips it down, throws it to the side. Australian zookeepers know nothing. All right, my final die then. I think I'm going to give it to Jacob. Because you're an excellent Sheila. Okay, I have a question for you as players. So obviously we kind of run over the hour. Did you want another 10-minute break, which I'm absolutely happy to indulge in, or did you want to just kind of go straight into like the tilt and act 2 and finish without another 10-minute break?
We have a 5-minute bathroom break.
We can, yeah. Yes, in which case then let's cut to a break and we'll have a very, very small one. And we will be back very shortly in roughly about 5 minutes or so. Yeah, thank you all so much for being here. As per, don't forget to enter the giveaway, !wildlife. And don't forget to donate if you have the means to do so, because we are at halfway to our goal. Cool. See you soon. Bye. Hey everyone, we're back. We told you it would be a quick break, and we actually weren't lying. We are in our second act now, and our final act of Fiasco. Our poor characters have been through quite a lot, and there's quite a lot going on. But we are now going to do what we call inserting a tilt element, which is going to send the plot sort of swerving in a certain direction towards its probably catastrophic finale. What I would like everyone to do is count how many light die you have, how many dark die you have, and then you are to roll that many dice, and you sort of subtract the highest number. You subtract the lowest number from the highest number.
Sorry, I completely blanked just then. Kat, what did you just say?
So you have one light dice. So just
Yes.
roll a die.
Okay, 7 minus 6, so I got 1.
Amazing.
One
And
light
your 7 was on what?
It was one light. Yeah,
Yeah, one light.
the higher
Okay.
number was light.
I have 2 dark.
I have 2 light.
Okay.
I have 2 light.
2 light. Oh, shall we do a roll off between the two of you? And see just the two of you roll and see who gets the higher number.
1 die each.
1 die each.
Okay.
Gonna use my tiniest die.
2 again.
3.
3. All right. You and I, Lou, are going to be choosing the tilt elements, which you can find, I believe, on page 56 of your Fiasco book. And how this will work is, let's say I will choose a do you have a fly in your room again?
Yep.
Just for a bit of context, when we had our session 0, the whole time there was a fly in Lou's room, and now it's happening again. So let's say I will go first. I will choose a category, and then you will choose the detail, and then vice versa. You get to choose a category, and I get to choose the detail, and those will be the two elements that will suddenly be thrust into our story that we now have to kind of involve in our final scene each.
All right. So we're choosing, not rolling.
We're choosing, not rolling. Exactly.
All right.
I am going to choose. I'm going to choose mayhem as my general theme, I think.
I love that we've already made one of these options happen.
We kind of have, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we've already got a dangerous animal getting loose. So we've already kind of got that. So therefore, I think that because it's slightly ambiguous, I'm gonna put that some misdirected passion.
Ooh.
Could be for the zoo, for a person, for an event.
I mean, it could be all of them, to be honest.
It could be all of them.
Cool. Now you get to choose a main category, and I get to choose a little detail.
Oh, I am very torn between tragedy and failure. Let's go for failure.
Failure. Have a quick look. I feel like Daphne has talked a lot about fire. I think I'm going to go with you thought it was taken care of, but it wasn't. Okay. So if someone can quickly write those down, and
Jacob is on the case.
Hey. Oh, I love that you've gone like with the black and the white writing. That's like,
love that.
Failure. It was
you thought it was taken care of, but it wasn't.
Do we specify what each of these means now?
We absolutely can. Yeah, if you like, we can kind of collaborate on that, and then we can kind of come together as choosing like a sort of a big event, or like two sort of slightly big events that are kind of happening cohesively, and how that could affect our. I think that's how we did it with Tav, to be honest, when we did it. So,
I mean, my suggestion for the you thought it was taken care of is possibly that we all think we've got a hold of the important documents we need now with that book. But actually, that's from 2019 onwards, and they're useless if we can't compare them to pre-2019, which is in the Penguin enclosure.
I like
yes.
We thought it was taken care of, but it isn't. We still need to get the Penguin's USB stick back.
My immediate instinct for misdirected passion was inspired by Daphne's, petulant and childish behavior towards poor Sheila. I think possibly despite Daphne's saying this is all about the animals and whatever else, she's kind of made things. She's directing her energies into the wrong place, and is kind of now going on a bit of a crusade against Sheila because of how because she wants to get even.
Oh my goodness! Maybe Sheila didn't even want the job. Really? Maybe Sheila actually spent the entire interview going, do you know what? Actually, I think that Daphne should really get the job.
She's actually a really nice person, and Daphne's just incensed and wants to get even. She's completely blinded by everything else. She's just like, we just need to get that bitch.
Wow.
Daphne seems to. Why is it that whenever I play Fiasco, and this has only happened twice, I always play a character that just ends up just so engulfed in like some horrible feeling of like in my last game, I definitely played a character that just kind of had a similar thing, was just like completely misdirecting their anger and frustration at a place. All right. Okay. So we think then the you thought it was taken care of, but it wasn't. We don't have the records that we need.
We have half of them, half of the
We have
puzzle.
half, yeah.
We have half the puzzle.
But you
Okay.
don't. I do.
You have half the puzzle.
Yeah,
think
but they
Penny's
want the
got,
puzzle
like,
pieces.
Penny's got the best.
Penny's got an in.
Yeah.
Penny's got an in. And
She doesn't know I have them.
And I think that Daphne is just focused on finding Kevin.
And ruining Sheila.
Oh my goodness, there could be a little bit of misdirected passion actually from the fact that Daphne loves Kevin so much, and Kevin definitely doesn't feel the same way about Daphne.
Unrequited
We're
snake
such
love.
good friends, Daphne, eaten alive. All right. Let's start then with Michelle. Putting you on the spot again, Michelle.
Yeah. Okay. All
Similar
right.
thing, but this time the outcome dice. We're going to do one scene each, and this time the outcome dice, you get to keep it. So I guess make it work in your favor. In your case, it doesn't really matter. You'll either probably extend your dark die or you'll extend your light die, but
Great. So we're at the penguin enclosure because last Penny knew she was still trying to get there. And I think Penny has roped in Cal and Daphne. So
Hey!
Daphne's gonna do the keeper talk that you get at zoos where they give information about the penguins, but Daphne was entirely unprepared for this. To cause a
Daphne is
distraction
entirely unprepared
while
for
Penny and
this.
Cal go hunting for the USB stick. And Penny is just, although this is all very serious, of course, she's just so excited to finally get to go into an animal enclosure. She's like, okay, Daphne, go. Do penguin facts, go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This, of course, is our lovely penguin enclosure. And as you can see, our keepers here. One of them is wearing a justice outfit, but definitely still a keeper. They are currently in with our penguins and interacting with them. Did you know that the Gentoo penguins are the fastest of all penguin species? They can swim at speeds of up to 36 kilometers an hour.
That's really
Fascinating.
fast.
Right. Cal, did you find it? Did you find the
No. Look, hey, the penguins, penguins are like trying to play. You have to Cal like has a little pouch of fish and takes a fish and just like chucks it, and the penguins all like rush after it. Okay, that should give us a bit of time.
They pass so fast.
They're smelly.
That's true.
Penguins poop every 20 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Look, there's one doing one right now.
Oh, gross. Okay, let's just. I think, and I think Penny's gonna point at a shiny. It's glimmering in the sunlight, very cinematically. This little busted up flash drives with 2019 on it. This little metal thing, and I think she points at it just in time to draw our attention to the python that slithers towards it and swallows it whole, and then continues slithering. Just slivers past.
Cal is like, oh no, and like dives for it, and as the python is eating it, just like sticks the arm in and grabs the flash drive, but then has a python up to their shoulder.
The oldest penguin fossils are 62 million
Daphne, is Kevin venomous or just long?
No. Everyone stay calm. Ladies and gentlemen, the lions are currently being fed. just watches as this crowd of people just run off. And she kind
Penny's
of
like got the tail and is
seeing.
kind of like, do I
Right.
do I just pull? What do I do?
I think that's the end of the scene.
I feel like
probably.
that's the end of the
Yeah.
scene of us.
Right. Kat, there is absolutely no way that people are going to run off to see lion feeding when they've just watched a python crawl into a penguin enclosure. The lions are being fed. Nah, mate. I want to watch the python feeding in the penguin enclosure.
I think eventually we get the drive out, but it's probably good for Penny, but I don't know if it's good for Cal.
So true.
Well, actually, I don't know. You got the drive, but also Cal might be being eaten by a python right now. So I think that really it's down to you established, didn't you?
I did, so
What do you think would be more important to Penny? Cal's safety or this drive and this potential promotion?
Oh,
I-
yeah,
I-
the decision between
I
the
think-
person that you'd like to be with or the job that you want.
Listen, Penny is a little bit self-absorbed, if nothing else, and I think actually she's just so happy that Cal like made this heroic sacrifice for her that she's too awestruck by this to notice that also Cal may be in serious trouble. So it's like it's so sweet of Cal to do that for us.
So
I
a good
think she's
ending
happy.
then for Penny. All right, take a good die.
Okay, I will, and I get to keep this one, yeah.
You get to keep this one.
Okay.
Also,
And it's
guys,
now down
pythons are
to-
constrictors rather than, you know.
Yeah, so it's
people
probably
that-
fine, right?
Well,
I feel you're right. They're not venomous. They're probably like starting. Oh yeah, you're right. They're kind of like wrapping, starting to wrap around Cal.
oh, it likes me.
I'm telling you, he's a great listener.
I would take 2 light dice just because we have to hand them all
Oh,
out, and
an
that
extra.
will lean you heavily in that direction. So,
Right.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I would ask folks to set a scene up for me.
I mean, I feel like the next scene for Cal is in the hospital.
I think
Penny
Cat.
probably has to be there. We have to resolve something.
no, I know.
yeah.
No, I know. I was joking.
Yeah, I think we have a flashback
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
because I think that there's got to be, because at the moment we've left Cal being possibly slowly constricted by a python, so I think having a scene that's next in the sequence is possibly not very productive.
Yeah.
I think we need to have a flashback scene between Penny and Cal that convinces Cal why he should risk they should risk their job and their reputation that they've established at the zoo to break into a penguin enclosure to help Penny.
Okay. Sure. Where is Cal when Penny comes with this request?
The pub.
Oh.
yes!
Then,
We're
yes,
going
it has
back
to
to last
be
Friday.
the Friday night.
Okay.
I feel like Lou had an ulterior motive in choosing this scene.
Okay, so I think Penny finds a way into the pub, and she kind of looking around, doesn't know this
It's
pub.
pretty empty, and there's Cal in the back in like a corner booth, like a big one, but just alone with some sort of drink.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
The other janitors aren't here yet, huh?
Oh no. They haven't. There was like some sort of thing, and maybe they're on different shifts now. I don't know. I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, I guess it's just us then, which is that's fine on a professional level.
Can I get? Do you want a drink?
Yeah, I'll have a double G&T. Just actually leave out the tea.
Okay, that's okay. Double G.
Double G, yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Brings it back.
Penny will sort of sit there until you get back. and she'll kind of start to sip it and realize she's made a huge mistake. So, "Oh, yeah, thanks. So I'm really glad you invited me to this group outing, actually, Cal.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no problem. I'm glad too. I was a bit quiet here. It's
yeah, I actually had a work-related, a completely
oh
professional work-related request, actually.
oh okay. Yes, I'm all about work and professionalism.
Yes, yeah, no, me too, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I'm still wearing the Dealy Boppers. So
Yeah.
if you know how you gave the penguins enrichment toys from an administrative office?
Yeah, that was Mr. Hitchcock right before he passed. He asked me to do that. I thought, what a nice gesture, you know?
Did he? That is nice. The only thing
Yeah.
is, I was reading online on my
Okay.
phone
Yeah.
about penguin enrichment,
Oh,
and it turns
wow.
out they actually are like really phobic of USB pens.
Oh, you would know, right? Because you have a master's in animal stuff. Like you told me all
Yes.
about this that night,
Yeah.
after Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Do you know
Yeah,
I had
I
forgot. I'd
I didn't
completely forgotten about that
I didn't
that
forget
party.
about. I thought it was a thrilling conversation, and I
Oh
would
well, no.
love to have another
I suppose
one.
I didn't. No, I mean I hadn't forgotten. Forgotten. When I say I'd
Okay.
forgotten, what I meant was that I remembered it quite well, and
Yeah.
but in a professional sense, I actually would love to have another conversation with
Okay.
you.
Great.
So I guess it's good that we're here.
Yeah, we're talking right now.
Maybe if I'm just really worried about the penguins,
Yeah.
and I wonder if maybe if we could
After
if we could
we
after with
recover the enrichment,
yeah, we
the
could maybe
bad
get
enrichment,
the
the
one that
de-richment,
the ones yeah, the sort of the empowerment, if you
yeah,
like.
the
Um,
empowerment toy.
yeah, the
You
empowerment
would
toy
know
because I
better.
think yeah, because of my zoology degree that I definitely passed.
Yeah.
Um, I told you about
I mean,
I didn't
congratulations on
mention
that, by the way.
about the graduation, did I? No,
Yeah,
I don't think I did.
that was you were coming to it after that Christmas party, and so
Uh,
I didn't know. We didn't talk since really, so I didn't
no,
know if it.
no, it went really well. So
Oh,
anyway,
congratulations!
thanks.
I got you a gift actually.
Oh, what is it another flash drive or?
No, well, it was. Sorry, it was a card, but it's been in my pocket for a while.
Oh,
Um,
well, that's really. I mean, that's really nice. Actually, it's got.
it's from the zoo gift shop, and it has like 20 pounds in it.
Goodness. I could
That's
literally
so
just sit and watch
patronizing.
this.
I love it.
Like,
Oh
No,
oh no,
no, it's
have
Michelle.
we lost
Did we-
Michelle?
oh no.
She just walked out. Cal gave her a gift and she just
Oh,
walked out.
all right. Okay, should we end the scene there?
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of decided that you were gonna go in and get the. By the way, disclaimer: penguins being phobic of USB drives, not a real animal fact.
Not
Just
a real-
disclaiming that one out there right now.
So the only other game I've played with Michelle, she established a completely wild fact about, well, she told another character something completely crazy and untrue. I was just like, this is a precedent she sets in games. I like
Mhm,
this. This is
mhm.
just establishing lies and fabrications.
Amazing.
This is great.
All right. Well, we'll resolve this for Jacob. Do you do you think that went poorly or well for Jacob?
I kind of think it went well.
I kind of don't.
No?
Ooh.
Okay.
I feel like they were kind of being manipulated a little bit by
That's
Penny and
true.
having their feelings kind of played upon. By the end of the scene, Penny had them kind of exactly where she wanted them. Oh, there's Michelle. Hello.
Yay!
Oh, that's what we assumed.
Yes, we just assumed you just walked out. I think so. What we've done is we've ended the scene. Oh, we're getting a little bit jerky again from.
I've got Michelle completely frozen.
Yeah, Michelle's frozen. I feel like then, Jacob, if I would suggest maybe pushing one good die and one bad die.
Okay.
Just in
Yeah.
terms of my thought process was just that maybe Cal thinks it went well, but actually did it really go well for Cal?
I'm happy to take 2 dark ones also.
Yeah, I'll bet you are. All right, yeah, let's keep it interesting then. You take 2 dark, and it just was very bad for poor Jacob.
Well, Cal ends up with their arm halfway down a python. So.
Yeah, like this is what this leads to be fair.
Yeah.
So
Things
yeah.
they do for love.
All right, so Michelle, we have ended the scene, and because we felt that even though Cal might think things are going relatively okay, obviously this entire thing ends with Cal's arm in a python, and actually Cal has been a little bit manipulated, we think. So Cal has taken 2 dark die to say they did particularly poorly in that scene, because once again, no janitors. It didn't really end like in a date either. It just kind of ended in this like, oh well, maybe we can have a conversation, but help me with the
They're
penguin thing
financially
first.
poorer because they bought you an expensive spirit that you didn't even that she didn't even like.
But okay,
she had them wrapped around her little finger coming into penguin habitats.
Lou, what are you establishing or resolving?
I am establishing.
Yes.
So, I am establishing a quite a short scene because I'm having it with a load of people that aren't you 3. So I'll make it nice and short. I am establishing a board meeting that is taking place where I've gone through the records that Penny has Hugo's gone through the records that Penny has given him, and been very selective about the ones he has chosen to show the board, and is I mean, I'm happy to do it in character if you like. Okay, so as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it was very much in dear Dickie's interest. It was what he wanted was to unite the zoo into a worldwide network of like-minded individuals who could work together for conservation, for the needs of the animals, and with the support of the world best zoo, the best zoo network. With the support of the best zoo network, with the increased funding that the zoo will receive, will allow us to have better provision for our current animals, allow us to expand, and will allow us to keep the lights on just a little bit longer, and allow us, as you can see from these emails and meeting notes, it's very much in the spirit of what was wanted by our dear departed Mr. Hitchcock. And
are you saying that Dickie was looking out for us beyond the grave?
Do you know what, Samson? I've truly believed that is what he was doing. He knew that we had to keep calm and carry on and bring it off the zoo into the future. And I believe this generous donation from the Best Zoo Network and the amalgamation, sure, will lose a few keepers, a few other, supervisorial position type folks as the merger, sharing staff across sites. But overall, it'll be best for the zoo and best for the animals in our care.
Well, that sounds all important to me. Well, the question is, are they going to make a big fuss about it in the papers? And I just don't want to deal with any sort of bad press.
I mean, the papers. I'm sure you saw in the Times recently how the papers were speculating about the zoo being in financial difficulties, and I believe that this merger will put those worries to rest. Of course, because it's a new exciting opportunity, it'll bring in funding, and also because no one has any idea where the financial records are, and therefore no one can prove anything, and everything will be seen as completely above board.
I've got a question. Is it gonna? We were angling to have a booth in the Chelsea Flower Show this year for a little bit of display of animals alongside of all those flowers. Do you think this will jeopardize our chances to land that booth?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, with the sponsorship deal that we're getting from the Best Zoo Network, actually, I think we'll actually be able to have some branding on the flower show brochures themselves. So actually, I think it'll be a jolly good
Yeah.
show, and
Oh,
I
did you
think
say we could have some brandy? I'd love a glass of brandy.
I don't see why not. Shall I get the
Oh.
glasses?
Motion for brandy. Seconded.
Shall we
Third
end the
is-
scene there? How do you think that went? I feel like that went really well for
Really
Hugo,
well
to
for-
be honest.
It did, yeah.
Mr. Hugo Ammanford.
I mean, those records, they're long gone, mate. Fed to a python or something. I don't know. Lines are being fed, apparently.
I mean, I feel like to be honest, that was two good dice for for Hugo.
This is not looking good for the little guy in this zoo story.
I mean, in terms of character, though, what this does mean is something is about to go horrifically wrong for Daphne.
We said in session 0 that we wanted to try and make sure that we saved the zoo. I believe I've just saved the zoo.
I think that you have, and it comes from the character that everyone expected not to save the zoo. So I think it would actually be really. I would love to maybe seeing as I don't I'm going to get too dark dice anyway. Maybe collaborate a little bit on what Daphne's scene might look like. I had an idea for where the misdirected passion might go in terms of Sheila. I thought that maybe Sheila is part of the zoo network that Hugo has been speaking about, and actually the reason why Sheila went for the promotion was because they wanted to merge the zoos. Then
of her
she would
connections,
go
for
off to
sure.
the other zoo, and Daphne would be allowed to be like the head zookeeper, but the zoo would be saved because of the money coming in, and it wouldn't be like Daphne being the head zookeeper until they sold the zoo.
Oh yeah,
2 months
there was definitely a plan to give Sheila enough clout that she could be sent off as an ambassador, leaving us an opening for her. But of course, it had to be hush hush, or it would all look like it was planned and not like it was whatever else. But Daphne has just got completely unhinged, and it's decided that everything's going terribly wrong in her life. She's lost her best friend Snake, and it's all Sheila's fault.
So I feel like
Maybe she's had a public meltdown.
I feel like the only way that this can really end for Daphne is, and because we are kind of like running over on time, I'm kind of happy not to RP it and just kind of explain it if that's better. I feel like Daphne and Sheila are sort of attempting to deal with this python. They're having this huge argument, almost like blowing up, and Daphne just absolutely loses it, tells Sheila exactly what she thinks of her, lets all of her like petty jealousy, everything come out, and then Sheila just calmly explains to her what the plan was, but like not anymore, like you're fired. Like
And
I feel
members
like
of the
that
public are like 5 deep in a ring around them.
Yes.
yeah,
Doesn't
I feel
matter
like
that
she
the lions are
loses it
being fed
in front
soon.
of everyone.
And I do think that this is, while it's terrible for Daphne, the amount of people, the amount of TikTok memes that's going to come out of this means it's great for the zoo.
It's great for the zoo. Yes. So in a way,
It's going to be trending.
Yeah,
in a way, Daphne has managed to get even with Sheila. It's misdirected, of course. She finds that out too late, but she managed to get even, and she did manage to do it in a way that the city would appreciate, because she just became the most memeable zookeeper in ever, like in Europe.
What town is it in? What's the city that the zoo is in? Did we establish that?
We didn't.
It's
I
on
think
the
it's a
score, but
UK
it's got
zoo.
it's on the score. It's called something generically American, but
Brookmarket.
Yeah.
Brookmarket. Okay, so we'll say there's
Brookmarket
Brookmarket there's it even picks up. There's, I don't know. Am I right that Sky is a network there that might have
Yes,
reality
yes.
TV? So there's like a Real Zookeepers of Brookmarket Shire show that it becomes a reality show where they hire people to be
It's
like.
that's on Channel 5. That's
Okay.
definitely on Channel 5.
Great.
So
Great.
I think that's what it is. Like, and then Daphne just realizes far too late that she's completely misdirected all of this, and she's now fired from the zoo.
Oh.
But
And the next day, there's an article on the Mail Online that's where the headline is "Python Keeper is pathetic," and it's got it's got several people's TikTok videos embedded into this terrible sensationalist story.
Yeah, with all of these, I love it. Okay, so
and it makes so much money for the zoo being able to be part of this reality show.
So that is going to be what we will do for Daphne then, as Daphne's final scene, which means that we come to the final part of the game, which I believe is that we are just doing exactly the same as we did for the tilt. We are rolling the dice that we have, essentially, and subtracting the biggest number that you roll. So if you roll four light dice and 2 dark dice, but your dark dice actually come out as a bigger number than the light, then you subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, basically, and that becomes your overall score. So I will go around and get everyone to roll. Ooh.
Not great.
I got 9 light.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty decent.
I got 4 dark, which is not so good.
Oh, Cal.
Daphne actually did really well. Daphne got 11 dark.
Wow.
So somehow this is all going to pick up for Daphne. I don't know.
Definitely like a TV gig out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I think so. And final one.
Hugo has got 12 light.
Of course, Hugo did well. All right.
Wow.
So let's go around. So Michelle, what did you roll again? Sorry.
I got 9 light.
I have the aftermath table in front of me.
So actually 9 light is titled nothing to crow about. So it's actually really hard to get like a really good ending. So not better, but not way worse either. It kind of gives a few examples, but essentially it kind of implies that not much changes for Penny, considering that Penny did an awful lot.
All the work she
within
put
this.
in.
But what do you think that kind of looks about? It's like a very mediocre.
Yeah, I think we see Penny. It's a couple months later. Her friend Daphne has moved on. Her friend question mark Cal. We'll see how they're doing, but we'll see her leaving work. She's still at the front of house. She's taken off her giraffe dealy boppers. She's remembered to take them off today. To put them in her handbag before she gets to the pub. And I think we see her kind of waiting outside the pub, trying to decide if she can brave it. And she's holding a card that she's had in her handbag for about 2 months that's increasingly crumpled with a Cal written on the envelope. And she's just waiting outside the pub, trying to get up the nerve to go in and see if they're there.
Oh, that's really sweet. All right, great mediocre ending for Penny. Let's head to Cal then. What did Cal score again?
Cal got a dark 4.
Not great.
Cat.
Something is broken or mashed is literally like what it says here. I feel like it's pretty obvious what that might be.
Cat.
Yeah, not good for a 4.
Cat. Sorry, just but obviously all of these things are that are the kind of the overall, but the aftermath is usually, I don't know if we're cutting down for time, but the aftermath is usually a montage where you take one of each of your dice and say this is so for example, Michelle might take has got a 9 high overall, but she can use one of her light dice to say this is Penny, and she's got her a key to the admin cupboard finally or something. But take one of her, and you go round and you say one of each, what each of your dice represents, either a good thing or a bad thing that kind of lines up with how your overall thing.
Sure. I just kind of truncated mine because I know we're over, but and also Penny has a lot of dice. So
Yes, Penny does have a lot of dice.
We'll spare you Penny's whole montage. We got the headlines.
Sorry, we didn't do that a little bit when we played it with Tab, so I didn't actually realize that was a thing. All right. So did we want to do that then?
I can just go through a couple of little montages for Cal and then move on. Okay. Unless you want to do it in a round, Lou.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
We can just do the thing, but yeah. So what is it? Your overall a 4 or something, but you've
overall
got you've got one light dice. So make sure Cal's got one little good thing.
Glimmer.
One
I see.
Die. Okay. So Cal loses their job. They were in front of everybody. It seemed like some sort of a mishandling of an animal, and so the zoo unfortunately had to let them go. They had a medical leave for 2 months, and now they're trying to put their life, like figure things out, and they need to go find a job since this is the thing that they've been doing for years and years, is janitor for the zoo. They have no skills on the job market, so they are really like reinventing themselves at whatever age they're at this point. The one good thing is that Penny is waiting there at the pub. Cal is in there,
and their eyes meet. Yes.
Yes.
This is all I cared about in this entire story.
We're all so invested.
I was super invested in this. Okay, amazing. Lou, then let's do your little like mini montages.
Yeah, so not Cal, what am I saying, Cal? Hugo ended up with not too shabby. You've made it out with dignity intact through some fluke. There might even be a little profit or self-respect or something. Time to throw a little party for all of your friends. So with my 3 light die, one of these is a little light drinks reception that Hugo hosts to celebrate the merger, and this one is deciding to really try and milk this Chelsea Flower Show thing for all it's worth, and sends attractive exotic Sheila to man the booth before she is flown out to Australia, and reveals that I need one more good thing to go for him. I was going to do something tacky. I'm not going to do that. And the last thing you see that Hugo does is at the end of the party, you see him shaking a couple of the more senior ranking board members' hands and hoping that he'll secure their vote for as chairman on the next election cycle.
Amazing.
How about Daphne, Kat?
Well, Daphne's got a bit of a. I want to come up with 3 bad things, but then all things considered. So I feel like the way that this is essentially, Daphne lost her job, which was literally the thing that she loved and lived for, and also no longer can see Kevin the Python. I think that actually Daphne was investigated on a more criminal basis, because Daphne was the investigation into what happened with Kevin revealed that it was Daphne who left the door open, and then it became like this whole mix of like, was there a potentially like, was it done on purpose in order to sabotage and make Sheila look bad and all of this, and so then it was like this whole thing. The charges got dropped because Sheila, it being an actual gracious person and an actual nice person, just said, no, I don't want to pursue that. I just want her out of my life. And so the charges got dropped. I also think that Daphne lost all respect and friendship within the animal community. And that's the thing that she's most passionate about, and all of the people that trusted her and was like, yep, she's like knows what she's doing, suddenly no one would trust her with animals again. Maybe she was even told that she's not allowed to work with animals again. But all things considered, what actually ended up happening was she became so memeable and so beloved on the internet. It started off as just like everyone mocking her and stuff, and then she actually became like loved on TikTok, like a proper, like people actually kind of started rooting for her, and there was like at one point there was a little like justice for Daphne movement, and it became this whole meme, that she managed to secure a really good career as like an influencer, and so even though she can no longer like work with animals, her beloved animals, she still managed to get a good career where she talked about animal conservation and things, and talked about the things that she was passionate about, and she's still working to get those charges lifted, and her fandom, her Daphne heads are working to try and help her do that.
She started selling T-shirts that say "Snake Bitch." And they were absolutely the hottest
She's been on
item
reality
of the
TV.
year.
She's been on and people kind of love her, even though she doesn't care about that. She literally cares about the animals, but everyone just assumes that she doesn't give a shit about the animals, and that's what they love about her. Yeah, I feel like a mixed ending for Daphne. Really great, but not in the way Daphne wanted it to be.
What a fiasco!
What a fiasco! And yeah, we have reached the end of our game, everyone. We have run over. I said it would happen, and it did. But thank you so much, first of all, to my players for joining me. I just want everyone to know that right now, for 3 of us, it's 1:20 in the morning, and for Jacob, it is 2:20 in the morning. So I think everyone deserves a little round of applause for just actually still being awake at this point, and being able to create a fiasco. What I'm going to do now, you have a little bit more time to enter the giveaway for a copy of Trash Powers, which was the game that we played in my previous stream, by Goth Hoblin. So just type !wildlife to enter. And while you all take the time to do that, and potentially push any further donations, if we would just go around and everyone can talk a little bit about what they do once more and introduce themselves as we exit this stream, and then we will draw for a winner. So let's start with Michelle again.
Hi, I have been Michelle Kelly. I am an actor and voice actor and the girl at the ticket booth trying her best. You can follow me at Michellecopter on all of the socials to find out just which stream channel I'm going to be popping up on next, rolling some dice. And thanks so much, Kat, for having me today. This has been really great.
Oh, thanks. All right, let's move on. Let's go in the order that we played in. So let's move on to Jacob.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacob Wolf-Lefton. I'm an actor as well, and I am Water Mosaic on many of the social platforms. You have to find me at Scavenger Hunt, and I also DM in a stream called Tales Held Dear, which has we play Numenera, and we have just posted a one shot that I did a hack of Honey Heist as Shitty Robot. And we have, if you're in Berlin, we have a live recording on October 15th at Berlin Podfest. And then we'll move back into doing a couple more streams toward the end of the year. So that's me.
Hey, thanks, Jacob. Moving on to Lou.
Hi, so I have been Lou Fryer. I can be found at I am Lou Fryer. I'm a TTRPG writer and editor, so if anybody is a publisher, indie publisher or anything like that needs somebody to work or write or proofread, I'm hopefully be your gal. I'm also in the Actual Play podcast of Dice and Them. We just had an episode come out this week, the last one in the arc of our current campaign, and we're going to be moving on to do something a little different along with a special. And you can also see me coming up in the Roll for Good charity stream for the Halloween and for the Actual Play UK Halloween special as well, which I believe Michelle, are you also?
I forgot to plug that. Yes, you can also see me on Actual Play UK. That is the next place I'll be popping up.
So if you love the Lou and Michelle interplay, you can see it again on the 27th of October on Actual Play UK.
Nice. I guess that leaves me. I'm Kat. I am known as the Law Mistress or Law Mistress 93 on many socials. I am a TTRPG writer, dipping slightly into game design with Hatchling DM, so keep an eye out on announcements for that. I'm also a streamer. I do a lot of stuff with Girls Run These Worlds, but I am branching out into other things. So I will be, this October, I will be playing a game with Exquisite Corpse. their channel. They're doing an October event, and I will be running a liminal horror one shot. I am also going to be starting to do more streams here on my channel. This is like me kind of coming back and being like, hey, I'm streaming again. After like 10 months, I think Twitch told me earlier, that just made me feel like a little bit physically sick. But yes, so look out for maybe a Halloween one shot of some kind, just to kind of get in the spooky season mood. But yeah, that's basically me. Let's draw this competition winner. And that's me, I have to do that. So bear with one moment. Draw entrant. Hey, well, if it isn't our very own producer, Jen Burb has won a copy of Trash Powers. So everyone give Jen a round of applause. It's a well-deserved reward after producing for us.
Jen has very much earned it.
Very much earned it. Trash Powers for a Trash Burb. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us. We managed to raise £126 and 38 pence for the amazing cause of Wild Wildlife Fund. So well done us. It was an absolute blast to do these 2 streams. And we will be heading off now to go to sleep. Yeah, all of us. Well, I can't speak for all of us, but I certainly will.
Yep. I've got to get up
Thank
in
you
less
so
than
much for
4
joining,
hours.
and hopefully we will see you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.